it's always worth paying close attention to what people say, the language that they use. Because I hear this question a lot: can I trust you? But if you know anything about human nature, give a like and subscribe. If you know anything about human nature, you'll understand that people will use words in place of other words, and as a consequence, they will ask the wrong questions, okay? So if you observe how people behave and what people say, very rarely matches. And throughout the whole course of human history, I think we can understand now that it's only been a small percentage of people that have really understood human nature, understood how the world works. And most people are constantly looking out for the answers. They're never actually introspecting. They're never asking themselves the question. And frankly, if people ask themselves the question, can I trust myself? That would be far more beneficial. But when people ask the question, can I trust you? Well, what they're actually saying is, will you agree with me? That's what they're saying. They're not actually asking if you're a trustworthy person, because do you know what? Most people do not care about that. They don't. Everybody, this lies at the heart of human nature, because it's mostly taught, it's mostly conditioning. But people honestly believe that the whole world should just agree with them. Underneath all of the behavior and things that people say, everybody secretly, or sometimes not so secretly, just wants everybody to agree with them, because wouldn't it be so much simpler? But when people ask the question, can I trust you? They want you to go along with what they're doing, how they're living their lives. Because if they live in that world, if they assume that worldview, then guess what? It means that they don't have to do any introspection. They don't have to ask themselves any difficult questions. They don't have to actually examine the contents of their own character. They don't have to, you know? It's much simpler to think that the world is somebody else's fault, you know? It's much easier to believe that somebody else is to blame. It's much easier in the short term. It's not actually easier in the long term, because if you defer life and you don't take responsibility, if you don't take responsibility for your own actions, well then, do you know what's going to happen? You're going to be flailing around. You're going to be rudderless and directionless. You're not going to have a grasp of your own life. So stop believing that life is outside in. It's not. Because if life is always outside in, it means that you're always at the peril of other people's whims and desires. And people, do you know what? People set themselves up as master and commander, as judge and jury, of trial and executioner. You see, I observe it a lot. The hypocrisy of people's behavior, you know? It's the really fascinating thing that people will shout and cry and decree orders at you all the time. But when they're doing it, it's okay and they don't have to explain themselves. It's really common. And you know what? People go on about this being a generational thing. And it's really not. I see people of both sexes, of all ages, of all backgrounds, behaving in this way. Because everybody believes that their point of view is right. And there are people that can put on a really good show of They're saying, oh, you know, yeah, I want equality, yeah, and I really want everybody just to be happy, and we're all the same. And no, no, we know that this isn't true. We know that there are differences between people and cultures and backgrounds. We know this, but we want to believe in this sort of egalitarian world where everybody is trustworthy and everybody is, you know, behaves nobly. And we know that that isn't true, but we want to believe it. There's a sort of quixotic, romantic, kind of childish view that every single person behaves as a good person, and they don't. Which is why I talk about being more self-determined and making decisions, and dealing with the consequences. But what you realize, as the more that you do the bold and decisive stuff and deal with the consequences, that most of, if not all of the stuff that we're really, really terrified about, really, honestly, doesn't matter. So when I hear somebody asking, are you trustworthy? Can I trust you? I just laugh at it, because it's not what they're asking. They just want you to agree with them. So I'll leave it at that. Martin Pavey here. Please do like and subscribe and share to spread this very, very important message. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Ciao for now.